Good evening, students. Welcome to this a short video based learning for the tourism students at the UG and PG level. Students, today we are going to discuss an important topic as far as tourism is concerned. Today we are going to talk about travel intermediaries. Friends, once upon a time, once we had considered tourism as an industry or commercial phenomena, and according to different scholars, tourism being called up as an activity of organized nature, especially for the economic prospects. It clarifies that tourism is to be treated as an activity of human relationship, basically the host guest relationships. These host guest relationships are arise at the juncture where host community have got something as an attraction. By the way, the guest community is seeking or under the impact of effect of that particular attraction and going to visit the destination. Therefore, the offering meant for the supply and the urge for visiting that particular attraction is can be considered as demand aspect. So this particular concept arises the aspect or need of the organized travel business. This organized travel business had started an urge of aspect of travel intermediaries. As far as travel services in the country or the world are concerned, they are not to be considered as the finished good, rather they are the services of different type of natures which may have different characteristics which we have already discussed. As far as a tourist is concerned, tourist is always looking for certain parameters for the services or their visit. He is looking for the hospitality in the services. He is looking for the ease of the travel. He is of course looking for the different kind of amenities and different sort of exposure for the destination. In this particular quest, he is also in search of the rest, relaxation, a proper management of time, and therefore, at last, he is eyeing for an organization who he or she or organization can complete all such aspect within the package. Therefore, we talks about travel intermediaries. This concept arises in late 19th or 20th century, and we have witnessed that in this international tourism business throughout India and throughout the world, there are different type of tour operators or travel agents. They perform as the task of the travel intermediaries. Now, the core concept of travel intermediaries is concerned. It is to be understood as a mediocre person who is in between the customer, that is called buyer or a tourist, and the end service provider, maybe the services of different reputation. Since tourism is to be considered as a phenomena, and this phenomena is of course to be treated as multi-dimensional nature of the tourism itself shows that a tourist is always in need of different kinds of A to Z travel services. Therefore, an intermediary of different reputation and different level is required by the tourist so that he may help the tourist for resuming the happiest or easiest travel to be conducted by the help of this particular individual or organization. Here comes the concept onto the basis of by having certain commercial benefit. Any individual or intermediary who is in between working between a last consumer called tourist and the service provider, of course he or she will have the minimum markup for himself or herself. According to UNWTO, at the earlier norms, there are certain standards of commissions can be called up as agent fees has also been provided by the name of those intermediaries. As far as the travel services are concerned, travel services are of different reputation. Let us can talk about that. If we talk about the transportation air ticket or train ticket or air ticket of domestic sector or any hotel for a specific period, any luxury activity, any guided services, entrances, and so many other phenomena. For this, a travel agent or an intermediary person is allowed to add on certain markup or certain percentage by which he can presume that the benefit of the such type of services may also be benefited as an economic benefit to it. So, the travel agent is a person who is to be considered as the travel intermediaries, and this type of travel intermediaries can actually help the tourism market or tourism business for having the so much of benefit in terms of ease of tour operation. In this particular quest, the reliability in terms of the business can also be ensured, because if the intermediaries are there is lack of risk, lack of unknownness to the customer is to be understood, and therefore it is what they are outmost answer for the intermediaries are concerned. But in the modern chain scenarios, gone the days where the people or travel agencies were based on the agent based. Nowadays, especially in the era of information communication technology, the scenarios have been changed, but the commitment towards the travel and travel intermediary business is more or less viable. Therefore, intermediary business is or mediocre business or agent business is to be considered as one of the important parameters in the modern international tourism business. Yet, though the commission type may commission and related aspect have been changed because internet or the global commencement of ICT services have allowed the customer to have more information about the product. Therefore, there are many levels by which there is no intermediaries now. Now, customer or tourists have got the direct connection with the end service provider. But of course, in this particular process, there are chances to have certain lackness of the faith. Therefore, this type of business sometimes is not high. Though the scenarios in the international tourism business have been changed like anything, most of the travel agents and tourism business have been confined onto the online, that is called OTA, online travel agent, and they are also based upon the intermediate travel agent itself. But this is the modern way of defining intermediaries. Now, in travel intermediaries may be defined as the online travel intermediaries. So this is what the concept which is related to the travel intermediaries are concerned. They are again of different reputation and different types. This may be divided as one can be considered as the wholesaler, the person or the organization who is responsible for the bulk travel products. Bulk travel products, which I am here mentioning, is to be understood as the whole sum of the business in terms of tickets, in terms of package, in terms of number of nights available or sold or to be held by the hoteliers or big giants to be understand or to be purchased by a person or an organization who is purchasing it in bulk and releasing to the other agent in the bulk. On the contrary, there are certain retailers, they are specifically buying small packages or the FITs, that is called individual tours. So free individual tours. So if we talked about certain engagements, people those are approaching to the new customers, they are to be understood as the travel agent of different reputation. Intermediary business is liable because travel intermediary is necessary for doing this particular business with a lot of faith, because there are certain commitments as far as money is concerned, as far as services and their liabilities are concerned, because everything or anything is related to the breach of commitment, or commitment is liable for the legal action as well. So one end the wholesaler and the retailer. The retailer and wholesaler can again be classified into tour operators and travel agent. Agents are those individuals or organizations. They are making certain markup onto the basis of purchasing or selling, reselling, buying and selling of that particular goods. Though the scenarios after electronic commencement or tourism have been changed a little, but definitely there is no alternative for the networking system. The businessman or the organization or individual, those are having a very good relationship or rapport among the international travel service providers, may have the benefits, because tourists are also going to rely upon him or her or the organization, because they have got the credit into it. There is one more thing to be talked about. As travel and intermediary business is concerned, India has got a very good market for both outbound and inbound, and the different niche tourism market. Nowadays, intermediaries are planning to shift from their classification of travelers or tourists. Nowadays, they are working on a different kind of package, different kind of concepts. This may be treated as niche tourism products related to the travel intermediaries. There are a lot more things to be talked about on this particular topic, though this topic is not directly related to the tourism concept. Some of these ideas are related on based on the travel agency and tour operation is concerned. So here we are going to talk about intermediaries. Intermediaries are also being affected by the environment, that is called external environment. Sometimes they may influence or they may be a catalyst for the pro-tourism environment, and some of the other time as an external factors they may also negate the tourism business according to different scenarios. So for this today's small session, we are going to conclude here, and by this particular session, we learn what is tourism business is all about, how does it operates, what all are the intermediaries, how do we can define it, the change time, especially after e-tourism or online tourism or e-era. Then we can also talk about what all are the wholesaler and so with these explanations, I, Amit Tiwari, concluding my lecture here and requesting you participant to go through it and learn this topic or concept their own. For listening me patientfully, I would like to thank. Good night.